What's up, YouTube? Dan the Man here. Gonna do a video on refinishing some crappy Romanian wood on my AK-47 variant. Actually an RPK Romanian. It comes with this really ugly crappy wood. That stuff. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that into a Russian red stock set using RIT dye, put an overcoat, red mahogany Minwax over it, and then the old favorite, probably do about 5 or 6 coats of tung oil. So what I'll do is kind of go over some of the parts, show you this thing exploded. Another shot of how the wood looks now for a before and after, and then I'll go through the steps as I sand and stain and finish. So you can use this on pretty much any kind of wood. If you don't like the red, I prefer Minwax over almost anything, and there's lots of colors. I've used a blonde, I've used this red mahogany a lot. This just the red RIT adds that red deep that Russian look that I like. It'll make the gun look like it just came from, you know, the Cold War or something. Anyway, we'll do an overview of these parts, what it looks like stripped down, and then we'll start taking some shots of the process. All right, we'll get started. So the key when you're refinishing stocks is to really strip it down. What I tell people is there's a lot of drying time involved. So while these parts are all drying, which you really don't want to, that's a big mistake people make, is you got to let them dry all the way before you start steel wooling them and putting other coats on. If you're in a hurry, you're going to screw it up if you want a really deep finish. So be patient while you're doing that. You've got all this stuff. It's a great time to think about cleaning everything really well. Like for me, I did a video about polishing the bolts, which this one's done. You're going to have time to do it. You got time to, go through everything and touch up what you need to do. A good time when you got your receiver taken apart to get in there and clean, everything out. I'm still finding cosmoline in this thing. When I pulled this off, there was all kinds of crap in the back here. So use the time, your drying time, to really go through your parts. And for me, for instance, a couple of the screws I don't really like. I don't really like the way they're looking. Try to get that on camera. They're pretty worn out. So I'm going to replace those while I got them all apart, so everything's tight and everything looks good. So we'll continue on. We're going to start the sanding process. And we'll get going right now. Alright, YouTube, so one of the first things to do for me before I start even sanding is to strip. I'm going to strip all this old crap, and what it is, it's shellac or something they dipped them in. But it's crud. It's no good. I don't like the look of it or the color. So I'm going to strip that down to bare wood. I like to use this. It's called Citrus Strip. You can get it at Walmart. I want to say it's like $5. I've used this on, I think this is probably my 5th or 6th rifle, and I've still got enough to do 3 or 4 more rifles with it. I'll show you how you apply it in a moment. I wanted to mention, when you're getting ready to strip or stain, anything you're doing, prep is really important. You don't want anything touching your finish. That's a high-tech box right there. And then what I'm going to do here is, you'll notice I pressed this in so I could get the shape of the buttstock. You're not going to see any of this. So what I'll be doing is cutting a hole in this styrofoam so I can stick this in there. And I will put some finish on the end, but you'll never see it. So I know once I stick that in, it's not going to fall over and get ruined. Actually, this laminate stock, you'll see once I put the red on, all those white marks, they'll absorb some of that red, and it actually is going to make for a really pretty, kind of a nice grain. Because it actually, you see all that grain on the, I don't mind that. I kind of like the laminate. So you'll see how that takes up the reds that I'm looking for. So I'll cut that hole and then I'll show you what it looks like. Oh, I'm going to try and let you see what I'm doing here. Not a real big deal. This citrus strip, make sure you got some gloves, because this stuff, it'll eat the hair off your fleas and phlasm, man. So all we're doing is giving us kind of an elevated spot here. And what I'm going to do is just this way it doesn't burn through anything, because this stuff's pretty strong. All you really need is a rag. This stuff comes out thick. That's why you put down a piece of cardboard like I've got. Get some on there and do your due. It's not a big deal. Just put it on however you like. I put it on fairly thick. The instructions say to leave it on for a short time. I leave it on quite a while. I want all this crap off. This will strip most of the crappy finish you got on there, and it'll also kind of clean the wood up. So sometimes, depending on the wood, now this is laminate, but depending on the wood, sometimes I'll get actually turn the wood almost white like you used in acetone, but this is citrus. The good thing about this stuff too is that you can use it indoors. It doesn't have really heavy fumes. Just make sure you get it on everything. Sometimes I'll go over and, you know, get even more on there. I don't really care about the end of it there. Mainly just the portions that are gonna, ooh, that's a lot. The portions that are gonna see stain. So we'll put that back where it was. Just like that. That's good. There. And then this guy, a whole bunch, just slap it on there. The fore end under portion. Get a bunch of that on. These tend to be, I don't know why, but I find the fore ends tend to be a little tougher to strip. I don't know if it's because the wood's tighter. Make sure you get the tops so that they match the, you know, the sides. Because all this got to come off. And I'll show you where I'm putting this stuff in a minute. There's the top. Again, just work it in. You know, it's already, I can feel it kind of breaking that crappy finish down. You're not really rubbing it, you're leaving it on and you're going to let it work. Make sure you get the ends. Okay, so. Alright, YouTubers, so what we got here in the Neon Man Cave is my work area. And again, I use that citrus because it has no fumes, which is great. And we've got all that stripper working on that. You can already see it kind of starting to pull that out. There, that's the, it's got them sitting on a box, and we'll let that sit. It says 15 to 20 minutes. I let it sit about an hour. Alright, so now stripper's been working for quite a while. Actually melted some plastic on there. You can see the wood's kind of whiter and kind of chalky looking. So now what we're going to do is take some of this strip stop. This deactivates the stripper so you can work with it, start sanding without burning yourself up. Take a good amount of this. And just wipe it down. Just kind of take the stripper off of the wood. Take all that extra gunk off. You see there? It takes all the junk off. That's looking kind of, I don't know if you can see, but a lot of that gunk is coming off. And it deactivates the stripper because it's like acid. In fact, as I'm rubbing this, it's like you can see the brown coming off of this. This is what we want. Get all that old crap off. Got to kind of rub it real good, and it'll almost peel away that crap that was on this wood. Turn this over. Make sure you use gloves for this. A little bit more of that. And again, good rub. Looks pretty good. a lot of the junk off. Still pretty ugly, but already looks better than it did. That's done. And then we're going to just get a clean part of the rag. And same thing for all these. Look at all the brown gunk coming off of there. See all of the brown coming off of that. Kind of nasty stuff, man. Alright, so we'll let that dry out. Make sure we get all of that stuff off. And you can see there's a little bit more of the wood, and we'll sand it. And we'll be back. So now, we'll sand that down. Get that grain going. Coming off? Yep. And we're going to power sand this piece. I know you started it, but pretty easy to just sand it. Okay, so sanded down, not too much. Got all that stuff off. We didn't worry too much about the end. You can see the difference in color from the end. That's ready to all sanded. We're going to put some color on it to get that Russian red. This one's all sanded down. I'm hoping the white parts, the lighter parts, turn dark, or at least darker, so they look reddish. So we'll do that, and we'll be right back. So make sure, after you've sanded, just a little water on a rag, and make a tack rag. Get all of the dust off, because that'll screw up your finish. Okay, so we're going to be using some Rit Bordeaux wine, or Bordeaux, which is like a purplish Russian red, as a bottom coat to soak in, and then we'll put a top coat of min wax afterwards. But shake this up really well, which we've already done. Whatever you get this on, it's staying on. So now you can go just to hands, yeah. See how this looks. Okay, and then boom. See, it's like a reddish purple. That's the stuff. Yeah, that's the stuff. You see that red? Look at that red, huh? You like that? I like it. It's pretty thick stuff, so have a rag handy to just rub it on there, man. Sucking it in real good, huh? Yeah, that's the red. See how the light parts have already sucked it in? See it? Already red, and I'm liking it. Liking that already. We'll go ahead and we'll coat the rest of them, and then we'll come back and show you them. You can see all the grain in it still, but it's got a real nice reddish Russian red look. That's what I was looking for. That's what I was looking for. This was an ugly piece of wood. Looks nice now. Sucked in all that dye. So we're going to let that sit and dry for an hour or so. Then we'll go ahead and start with a coat of min wax. We'll see how that looks. See you in a bit.